Oh, well, Marvin, first I'm going to ask you about how do you think your youth team are progressing so far this season?
Um, Progressing very well. The five teams have been progressive in terms of good performances, good results. The main thing that's been really pleasing is we've had a couple of boys that have been included with the first team recently. Obviously, Brad Pearce making his debut or his full debut on Saturday, getting a goal obviously, which is fantastic for himself. Today we've had Jude Mason sign up with the first team, which is another young left back who's been superb for the last 2 seasons. Ezra Akbuassi, who's also signed up with the first team today. So I think where my job is assessed is definitely progressing players, and I think aside from performances and results from the youth team point of view, from in terms of the club and what my job is here to do, it's getting players through, and at the moment that's happening, that's working, and couldn't be happier.
And can you see that continue now with obviously Brad Pearce scoring at the weekend, those players being signed up? I think now there's a clear path for these players, and it's just going to make them more motivated to get there.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think you hit the nail on the head. The fact that our boys, in terms of the academy, have seen someone like Brad go and do what he done on Saturday. Not only that, I think what he's done is also given Doz a little bit more of confidence to go and put those boys in, because it is tough, obviously, as a first team manager. Making that step, or taking that step I should say, in terms of going to take a lad from a younger, one of the younger teams and then putting him in. I think that's now got a big way, what Brad's done on Saturday, and I think also for our boys, as I said, it's made a huge impact in all the teams, and it's also shown the pathway is there. It can happen, and it's as simple as that. And however you get to the first team, whether it's by default, injuries, which has obviously been for Brad, that's got him in that environment. He's taking his chance, and once you're in that environment, you've got to take your chance, and that's what Brad's done, and hopefully, as I say, there's more to come.
Obviously, there was the unfortunate situation with the FA Youth Cup. You made your points, what you thought of it on Twitter, but for those people who haven't seen what you said on Twitter, not on social media, can you just make your feelings about that to camera?
Yeah, I think the key is I don't want to get sort of drawn into the blaming, and that was the key point I wanted to make on social media. I don't want to blame and point fingers. The bottom line is, unfortunately, we had a player who didn't obtain, or we didn't obtain, that international clearance for. He'd played for 4 other clubs in England prior to signing for us, and we felt obviously there was no need or any reason to obtain any clearance on our part. But for whatever reason, unfortunately for us, Clevedon were aware and made aware that we had a player who hadn't had clearance, and they as a club felt it was the right thing for them to do, which was to go and put that to the FA after losing the game. You know, could they have done it before? Who knows? But they made the point to do it after the game, and the FA, the reasons the FA put to us were simply they felt that we should have whatever who we played for prior, we should have gone and obtained clearance. So it's obviously devastating, and it was devastating for the boys, because they've created a journey for themselves which was absolutely amazing, and I'm sure they will always remember that. I think for me personally and my staff, it was our first ever time managing the Youth Cup, to go on 3 away games on the bounce in the Youth Cup, which is not easy, and go and win. And I felt they fairly won those games as well, and they got the big carrot of Man City, but the biggest thing that's come out of it was simply the fact that Man City obviously understood our position. We put it to them, and they've invited the boys up to the city of the academy, to their stadium up there, and the boys will get a chance to go and play a game and have a day out up there, and that's the most pleasing thing for me. Those boys will get that game still, whether it's in the Youth Cup or not. That's what they worked hard for, and that's what I feel they did, and they've done that fairly, and now they go and do that. So I just want to take the positives out of that. You know, it's been a great run, and as I said, they'll now get what they wanted, which is the chance to play the Man City game.
And obviously, this is going to want to make them strive for the next FA Youth Cup to get through that and maybe get a big tie against a Premier League youth academy team.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think so for us, it's you know, we the disappointing side of it is that some of these boys won't get a chance because they're now too old next season. But what we have got is a good crop of core young players in that team. You know, we've got 4 or 5 boys who are still eligible for next year. So they'll obviously will take a huge amount of experience from this year and the learning side of it. You know, we did overnight stays. You know, we prepared the boys right with pre-match meals. So that in itself is a good experience for them in terms of opening up their eyes to sort of the professional game. And they'll get a chance to go again, providing they work hard and they continue to progress. We'll obviously have to add to that group for next year, but for all of us as an academy, it's definitely an exciting sort of thing to look forward to next year. And like you say, who knows? We continue to get that little bit of luck as you always need, and get the draws and get the obviously get through and get the results. And who knows what's going to be coming.
Lastly, how far do you think the youth teams can go in their leagues this season?
I think in respects to the under-19s, they're currently four games, 4 wins. We have definitely suffered with our Bostik under-18s league, and I think, without using an excuse, I think the FA Youth Cup definitely took its toll on the Bostik league, just simply because of the fact we had to rest players for those league games whilst we were still in the Youth Cup, and also having under-19s football, we had to spread a lot of players across a lot of games. I think now, as of January onwards, the focus is back on the league. I think, say, the under-18s Bostik is the one that we definitely want to look to improve in this year. But as I said, that isn't my main focus. Yes, is to obviously progress get better results from the team's point of view. But in terms of me personally, we're already on a very good path. You know, we're already at Christmas, and I said I've got a player who's made his debut, and 2 players have signed registrations for the first team, and hopefully a few more debuts to come as well. So whilst, yes, of course, I'm looking at progressing in leagues and whatnot, the main focus is, can we continue to push players through to Doz and Beardy and so on and so forth.
Marvin, thank you very much for talking to SUFCtv, and good luck for the next game.
No problem, cheers, thank you.